Hey, you guys, welcome. This is Tamaya Robles. I am your credit expert. I'm the owner of my company, Fix My Credit, now50.com. I'm the host of my podcast, Coast to Coast Credit. Be sure to check it out. I'm NAREP High Desert Chapter President out here in Victorville, California. And you see this, right? Next Level Credit Academy. Yes, I teach. I'm the teacher. I'm the founder. I'm the creator of Next Level Credit Academy. So for those that want to take your credit to the next level and understand it's about going beyond the deletions and actually getting debt waivers and checks from these creditors that are reporting on your credit report, be sure to join. It's free. I know y'all like free stuff. It's free to join. There's different courses in there. Be sure to check it out. But what's good, y'all? What's good? Welcome. Be sure to come on in. Let people know that I am on, that I'm doing a live, what the topic is about. This is really important, you guys. This is really important. So let's get right to it. But real quick, I want to say thank you guys for following. Thank you for the continued support. Thank you for sharing, download, all that. Listen, I'm winging it. I don't have my makeup on like that or is worn off. Okay. I'm not trying to be fancy. You might hear a kid in the back. You might hear some animals ripping and running. I'm not stopping for none of that. We're going to get to the point. We're going to focus on the topic at hand. All right. So before I get into it, let me give you an explanation as to why I'm doing this particular live. A lot of you guys come to me asking me how I can increase your credit score, but I keep telling you it's not just about the credit score, it's about the credit profile, right? So if you're getting your credit profile fixed, one of the ways that you can jump your credit score is to pay down your credit cards. I know we just got out of some major holidays with Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and then the Capricorn season, Aquarius season. So you guys are probably doing big spending, maxing out your credit cards, and you're like, whoa, how do I pay them down? I'm trying to get a house, all of the things. You need to watch this video. If you know anyone that would benefit from this live, just invite them, share it out, let them know. Okay. But also, you guys have just always asked me. So, for example, if I'm fixing your credit and I'm getting you deletions, even if you're getting checks and debt waivers, it doesn't necessarily mean you're instantly going to get a score increase. A lot of the times, most times, people have a good credit profile. They didn't pay down their credit card debt. So we're going to talk about it. So in preparation, if you guys want to go through this with me, because I'm literally going to walk y'all step by step. This might be a lengthy live. Okay. If you have any questions, put in the comments. Okay. I got y'all. But I'm going to show you step by step on how I suggest, okay, that you pay down your credit cards. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. This is just strictly for education. Do what you feel is best. These are just suggestions, okay? Take it with a grain of salt, but it does work. It's pretty effective. So let me first let you know some of the tools that I'm going to be using just for the sake of this live. So let me smallen myself. I always say that. That's not even a word. So what I like to use is Smart Credit. You guys know, some of you guys know that I've been with Smart Credit for I think 7 years now, the life of my career. And they have this section where there's two versions of itself. There's the classic version that I like to use, but this version is their newer version and it shows you your utilization, your credit card utilization. So what you want to do is pull up a source that you find reliable and you feel that will give you the most accurate information on your credit card debt. I'm not talking about anything else other than what is your credit card utilization? What platform will show you that? So right now we're using Smart Credit. If you want to use Smart Credit, you want to sign up for Smart Credit, the link is in the description. I'll make sure it's in the description, okay? Use my link. It's just $1.99 for the first 7 days. If you want to pay monthly, you can, by all means, you're more than welcome. But we're going to first look at Smart Credit. So have this together. Then you want a calculator. Now, I chose to use this calculator. It's a random calculator, okay? It's nothing fancy or special. If you don't want to use an online calculator and you have an actual calculator, do what you feel is best for you. For the sake of this live, I'm using some random online calculator just so you can see what I'm doing. Also, you want a calendar. So what I did here is I used this, I just pulled up Canva, right? I pulled up Canva. Let me see if I could shrink this just a little bit. But I pulled up Canva and I created this calendar like this for you guys. I will explain as we go, and I'll zoom in and zoom out for you, just to make it easier. Okay. Hopefully you guys catch on. Now, my goal here is to try to make this as easy as possible to the best of my ability. Okay. I'm trying with y'all. I'm trying. Now, just because I'm making suggestions like this does not mean you need to follow it to the T. So if, for example, my calendar says payday, due day, make a payment day, late day, reporting day, it's in these colors, that's just for the sake of training. I hope we're very clear on that. Fix that to your liking. Okay. Now let's go back to this. We're going to start off with this, obviously my client's credit profile, and we're going to look at her. And if you need a tablet and pen and paper, whatever, do whatever you got to do. Do what you feel is best. I think she has so many credit cards, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up maybe 2 credit cards that are pretty bad and use them as an example. Okay. So she has several here. So you first want to look at your credit profile. Anything that is above 15% utilization, you are definitely paying. I'm sorry, let me small-in myself again. You are definitely paying interest. So I know they say, hey, you got to pay 30% down on your credit cards. Yeah, you can pay your credit cards down by 30%, but the goal is you want to be at 15% utilization or less. You do not need to zero out your credit. Let me blow myself up real quick. Okay. Listen, Linda, you do not. Well, it's not the one. You do not need to pay your credit cards down to 0. You don't need to do it. You don't need to pay your credit cards off every month. You don't need to do that. If you can only pay it little by little, and we're going to get into that, or if you could pay half now, half later, we'll get into that. Or you can, but you don't need to zero it out. Like some clients come to me like, yeah, I paid all my credit card bills. I'm broke as hell. Nobody told you to do that. But if you want to get out of paying interest, make sure you're paying 15% utilization or less. If you're fine with paying a little interest, that's fine. I would not go beyond 30%. But again, this is just advice. This is just advice. And that's it. That's all. All right. So I'm going to go back to this. Boom. Now, so you want to look at your credit report and you want to see what credit cards that, first of all, we're going to pretend there's 2, but what credit cards, first of all, can you personally manage? What can you manage, right? Because if you got it like that, then you would pay your credit cards down. So this live is not for people that got the bread, that got the money, and it's no big deal. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to everybody else who has similar profile as my client, and they want to know how to start paying it down based off of what they have. What I would recommend you do is, she has a lot. So we're going to pretend she only has 2, right? So one credit card, we're going to, let me see, one of them, she's at 100% utilization, 94%, 81, 40. Okay. We're going to start off with the highest 2. So this one is her store card. This looks like Children's Place right here. Okay. She has a credit limit of 200 and she's at 200. Okay. This is her monthly payment, $41 a month. Pay attention because this is going to be important. This is the minimum, $41 a month. So we're going to use this one, and then we're going to use her first Premier. So she is at 94% utilization. And as you can see here, her Her credit limit is $1,100 and she's used 1,036 of it, and her monthly payment is $73. So we're going to pretend, just for the sake of training, that these are the two credit cards that we need to work on paying down. So you first need to get an eyeball on your credit profile and just face reality. Look at it right in the face. Don't run. Don't be scared. Don't look at the numbers like, oh my God, this is wild crazy. Yes, it is wild crazy, but that's why we're here. We're here to fix, restore, repair, resolve, okay? And learn and educate, grow. That's why we're here. So don't freak out, okay? But at the same time, don't forget you were here at this point, so you never get back to that point. Now, I'm super duper bad with math, okay? So this is why I have the calculadora. We have the calculator because we need to know what 75% utilization looks like. So if this is a credit limit of 200, you're maxed out at 200, you just need to pay the credit card down by 15% utilization, then we're going to do the math, right? Don't make fun of me, y'all. Don't judge me, judge your mother. This is a judgment-free zone. I keep telling you guys that. Oh, and then I got a calculator that doesn't want to work. Okay, hold on. Let me refresh. Okay, it was working before. Okay, $200. Now we're going to do minus 15%. Now, a lot of guys have asked me, hey, how do you calculate 15% utilization? This is how you do it. So not all of us were master mathematicians in school, okay? So don't judge. Some of us need this. Relax. All right, relax. So for $200, 30%, 15% utilization means that you just do the 200 minus 15%, right? And I'm going to be even more simple. So you take the 200. You know what? I don't like this calculator. Ooh, let me do another calculator, y'all. Hold on. I don't like this calculator. Okay, we could do the Google calculator. That works. Let me make sure y'all see it. All right, this works. This should be fine. Okay, so it's $30. $30 is 15% of the 200. So we're going to take 200, and then you're going to minus $30, and that equals $170. So for her I'm just writing it down so I'm not losing track. So for her child, is it Children's Place? Her Children's Place card. What is that? CCB card. I'm just writing it down. You guys can write it down with me. She has a limit of $200. 15% utilization. She has to pay what was it? 175. I forgot that fact. 170. Okay, so 170 has to be paid. So write that down. Prepare yourself. Okay, whatever your credit card is, be sure to look while we're doing this together. Okay, all right. Now the next card is First Premier. So First Premier, you want to write that down. First Premier, the limit is $1,100, $1,100, right? So you want to go to your calculadora. Once again, clear this up. I've never seen a calculator like this before. I don't even know, like, how do you just erase this? I don't know, child. So anyway, so it's $1,100, right? Minus 15% equals, right? So that would be $935. So we take, am I clearing this? How do you just clear it out? I don't know. I guess that's clearing it out. So I'll pretend that's clearing it out. So $1,100 minus $935 brings her card down to $175. So I'm sorry, she has to pay the card down to $165, y'all. I'm sorry. $165. Okay, $165. Now you're probably thinking, well, Tamaya, you might as well just pay the whole thing off. You don't want, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. So you want to pay it down, and I'll do this again. $1,100 minus 15% equals 935, right? So you want to pay 1,100, was it right? Minus 935 equals. So this is the balance that should be left on the card in order for it to read at 15% utilization. So that's $165 that she needs to have on that card. Okay. What she currently has on this particular card is she's almost close to the balance. So if she pays this down and pays it to 100, at least a minimum $165, she should be good. And also, if with this one, if she pays this card down to, I think I did that wrong, y'all. I told you I'm bad with math. Come on, hold on. Uno momento. Let's go back here. Clear this up, share this tab. So $200 minus 15% utilization equals, so it's 170. So 200 minus 170. Okay. Now she has to pay her card down to $30. So you write that down. You have this in mind. So do that with all of your credit cards. If we need to do it again, I'll do it again. Just off the strength that I just didn't make sense right there. Just off the strength. Hold on. Let me get us back here. Now I'll do another one for you just because I wasn't making sense right there. So her FNCC, she has a car. If you can see here, the credit limit, that's what you want to look for. The basic credit limit of that card is $1,000. Okay. Go to your calculadora. You're going to clear this. Again, I'm not used to this type of calculator, but whatever. So you're going to type $1,000 minus, again, you guys, I know you're probably like, Tamaya, this is simple math. I understand that it's simple math, but you don't understand how many people aren't good at math, even simple math, such as myself. And a lot of people ask me, sorry, you guys, a lot of people ask me, how do you calculate 15% utilization? So I'm showing you. All right. Again, $1,000 minus 15% utilization, right, equals $850. So you take the $850 and it's subtracted from $1,000. This is how much you should be left with for that card. That will read that you have a balance of $150 as opposed to a balance of, she has a balance here of $811. That's a no-no. So that means she is 81% utilization over the limit. She's getting close to the limit. So she's over the 15% utilization. She's beyond 30% utilization. So she's for sure paying a high interest rate on top of that. So once you guys know, so we're working with, once again, we're working with this children's place card, and we're working with First Premier. Now, the next thing you want to know is, what is the minimum balance? The bare minimum balance. So what you can do, and I love Smart Credit for this, it tells you right here, but you can open it up a little bit more and review the details. Okay. It will usually tell you the payment amount or the minimum balance that you have to pay, which is usually here. If you want to know for certain, for sure, all you have to do is look at a bill, call your bank, look at a statement online, do what you need to do to find out what the minimum balance is. So we're going to assume that the minimum balance is $41 a month. So you want to write that down. Take note of that. Minimum balance is $41 a month. Now, I know you're like, Tamaya, why are we writing down the minimum balance if you're saying that we have to pay beyond 15%, at least 15% utilization, which is more than the minimum balance? I'll get into that in a second. Now, the First Premier join is $73 a month. So the reason why, and you can open this up and see all the details, The reason why I'm focusing on that is because it's important. You need to know the credit limit. You need to know the balance of that card, right? So in this case, the credit limit is 1100. She's almost at 100% with a balance of 1036. Now, just to make sure you're not missing any payments, I don't care what your financial status is. You can see the amazing thing is she did not miss payment. You do not want to miss a payment. Regardless of whether you got money or you don't have money, whatever, you want to at least bare minimum. Times are hard, times are tough. I get it. Pay that minimum balance. You do not want to miss payment because it will drop your credit score so crazy. I get so many clients like calling me and scheduling appointments like, my credit was fine. I never missed a payment. Something happened, my medical, I got in an accident, whatever the backstory is. You missed the payment. You were late. Even if you didn't miss it, but you were late, you still paid it, but you paid it the next. Nah, you can't do that. So that's why it's important when all else fails, know what your minimum balance is. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go back to Children's Place and we're going to figure out when is this due? When is it going to report on a credit report? Now, here's the thing. I personally do not know when her bill is due. There's nothing on here that is going to say when the bill is due. Okay. Now, it should say when there should be a date of when it reports. So in this situation, the date it reported was December 26, 2025. Okay. So you want to write down in your notes, you want to write bill due date, right? Or you can write just due date. So we're going to write due date. And then we're going to write reporting date. Okay. This is very important. Very important. Now, you can also, if you want to go the extra mile, you don't have to put late. And we're actually going to put a pin in late and deal with that in a moment when I show you the calendar. So let me blow myself up just a tad so you can take me seriously here. Okay. Like let's one-on-one, mano. Okay. Listen, Linda. These dates are critical when it comes to paying down your credit card debt. Okay. You have to know when your bill is due. You have to, and we're going to do the calendar thing in just a moment, because your bill due date is the end all be all. You have to pay your bill by the due date. Okay. That is paying your bill on time. But my rule of thumb is on time is late, early is on time, and on time is late. And we're going to get into that. Okay. This will save you a lot of heartache because some of you guys are missing payments, are seemed as you're reported as late because you're on an automatic withdrawal. You know your due date. And so when you set it up for the automatic withdrawal to come out, you have it set for that date only when you shouldn't do that because you don't know what day that date is going to fall on. It could fall on Christmas. It could fall on a Sunday. Banks aren't open then. And another thing is some banks like Capital One, and I'm sure a couple other y'all banks, y'all know where I'm talking about. Some banks consider Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday a weekend, unfortunately. And then they don't start processing payments until the next business day, which is typically a Tuesday. So if your due date happens to be on a Sunday, yes, maybe that money got withdrawn, maybe because now there are two banks talking. You got your bank that you hope is going to do an automatic withdrawal on a Sunday and deposit it to another bank that you hope is going to pick up that money, receive that money, and report that the money was received. That is why a lot of you guys are getting missed payments and no payments received. That's where that's coming from. I'm not knocking all the automatic withdrawals. I've talked to y'all about that before years ago. Like I was so against it. I'm not against it. You just have to be strategic about it. Okay. So there's the bill due date. Don't go by your credit report. Don't go by this. Like we're looking at this lady's credit report and we're going to assume when her bill date is. Don't assume, know it. Okay. And if you're a credit expert and you're helping your clients individually pay down their credit cards and you're showing them this strategy, when you have them set up a meeting with you and tell them, hey, bring your bills with you because we need to know actual dates. But because I can't do that with you, I'm going to just give you a little tidbit on how we can assume and guess when her actual bill date is. All right. So her date reported is one thing. So you're going to now write down the reporting date. Remember, we got the due date, the bill date, and we got the reporting date. So we see the reporting date as the 26th of every month. So you could put the 26th, right? Usually, and I'm going to blow myself up again, usually when you have a reporting date, the bill date, the due date is usually about 4 to 5 days prior to the reporting date. So for the due date, we're going to sit here and say, okay, it is the 21st of every month. Now, again, you guys are going to have your actual bill and you'll know already what the fax is, but for the sake of the training, yes, we're going to say her due date is on the 21st. Now, that is for her, what is it? Children's Place card. So now you have the minimum balance of $41, right? You have a due date and you have a reporting date. Now we're going to look at, let me small in myself again. We're now going to look at her, get out of this one, and the FNCC. So the FNCC, it looks like her, what is it? The date reported was on the 15th. So it's the 15th of every month. So what is this company again? What is it? What did I say? FNCN. I mean FNCC. So her bill date, or you could write due date, whatever is easy, and her reporting date. Okay. Her reporting date is the 15th of every month. So more than likely her due date is roughly the 10th of every month. All right. With the minimum payment of $73 a month. Critical, you guys. Critical, freaking critical. Okay. Boom. Now we're going to now scoot on over to the calendar that I created. This you got, let me make myself a little larger. Okay, let me make it claro. This is something I pulled up off of Canva. So if you want to do Canva, or if you're old school, maybe you have those desk calendars, if that works for you, or you have little notepads and you stick it on your, whatever the case may be. This is something, this, or a daily planner, if that helps, whatever works for you. Again, this is just for educational purposes only. All right. So I did this for y'all. So what I did was I actually want you guys to see, I just took a calendar, but you want to be able to have these little highlights on there. Okay. And you want to be able to write in each box, which is what I like, so I can zoom in and zoom out for you guys, okay? First thing I would do, just so you have a visual, is you want to put down the dates that you get paid, okay? So let's say it's just you. So I have a little tag here. This is, the green tab means I get paid on this day, right? This is payday. Now you can write it out as payday. You do whatever you feel is comfortable, or you could do this, Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, but whenever you see this green tag, you know this is when you get paid. Okay, now if you get paid every other Friday, obviously you know what to do. You're going to take that tag and you're going to put it for every other Friday. Okay, very simple. I'm going to make this smaller, child, because this ain't boom. There you go, Canva. All right, so this green tag means I get paid. Now I'm only doing this with like one paycheck. You obviously, if you have a bunch of people living in your house, let me blow myself up. Every time I'm making a point I really need y'all to pay attention to, I'm gonna blow myself the fuck up. Okay. Just a little bit. Okay. If you guys have multiple incomes in your house, congratulations. That's what's up. Good for you. Obviously, this calendar is going to have multiple green stickers on it or tags if that's what you want to do. Maybe it's multiple people that have an income, but it's only your income that's paying the credit card debt, whatever the case may be. I get it. That's what's up. But for now, again, this is just a little training video. Okay. Boom. If you have any additional questions, don't forget to put in the comments, whatever. Okay. Just follow the guidelines here. But I got you. This will work. This will work. Okay. So boom. Now we know we have a full visual, just eyeballing it. Okay, boom, I get paid on these days. Okay, now I put payday, due date, make a payment day, late day, reporting day. Remember, I told you we put a pin in the late day. I'm going to get into that in just a second. Now, here's the thing. Y'all got other bills, so don't forget that. So I'm only talking about credit card payments and how to pay them down. So you guys we already did the 15% utilization. So we're going to say worst case scenario, we're only paying the minimum, which is what I don't encourage, but some people, that's all you can do. What I would do is I would take this and put the purple due date, right? We're going to duplicate that. And the due date for the first credit card is, what did I say? The due date is on the 21st. So we're going to find the 21st. See, already that's a problem in my eyes because it is on a Saturday, right? It's not bad that it's on a Saturday, but rock out with me. Then you have another one that's due on the 10th of every month. Okay, so now we're going to go to the 10th and you're going to tag it. These are your due dates. Okay, right here. So when you eyeball your calendar, it's going to look a little colorful. Fine. Now, when is it going to report? Let's pick the reporting date. So we're going to have two pinks on the calendar for this particular scenario. So one reporting date is on the 26th. So we're going to go to the 26th. All right. I'm just trying to make it fit y'all. It does not have to be perfect. Y'all can hook it up, make better tags, do what you got to do. Okay. Now we're going to make another one in the other reporting. So one is for the 26th and one is for the 15th. So we got to do one for the 15th. See, look at that. That's on a Sunday. I'm going to give y'all some tea on that. Just because the banks are closed and don't take money and you may think, oh, well, if it's a Sunday, so they're not going to capture the fact that it's on a Sunday, so I'll probably just pay it on a Monday because the credit reporting agencies aren't going to notice because yeah, they will. They're going to if they say they're going to report on Sunday, they're going to report on Sunday. It's going to be reported on your credit report on Sunday. Okay? So don't play around with this calendar, you guys. This is extremely important because this is what's getting y'all tripped up. Now, you want to make a payment. What did I say? You want to make your payment about, I'll say, 3 to 4 days before your due date. So for the first credit card, your due date is on the 21st. So what I would do is I would kind of do it like this. Oops, let me correct that because I want the color, not the word. Okay, so if the due date is on the 21st for one bill, okay, I would literally put it something like this, right? Make this a little small. I would say make a payment day or days. I would stretch it out until here, something like that. Okay. You don't really want to pay on the due date. But if you see that, like, life be lifing, y'all, you may mean to pay it on the 17th. You may mean to pay on the 18th. You may mean, but life be lifing. But when you see the calendar, you want to be able to look at it and say, okay, this is what things are looking like. Okay, I got some time. I got to move things around. I got to steal from Peter to pay Paul. Got it. Say less. It just gives your mind a visual, and colors, as you know, are like amazing as far as memory is concerned, especially if it works for you. But if it doesn't work for you, it's fine. Do what works for you. Now, the next one, the billing due date is on the 10th. So we're going to do it like this. So boom, you want, because remember, the 10th is on a Tuesday. You got the Saturday. I would stretch it out. I would rather be extra, you guys. I would rather be extra. Better safe than sorry. But these are just notes for you. That's all. You want to take that and then you want to hook it up like that. Okay. Something like this. Something to this effect. So there's your calendar. Let's blow it up a little bit. You see that? That's what it's going to look like. Do we have the colors? Green for payday, purple for due date, yellow for make a payment. Now we're going to talk about the late day. I didn't do the late day. Okay. So how do I get up out of here? All right. Late day. Very simple. And I have it in bright red for a reason. So again, it jogs your memory like, yo, this is not good. Red, alert, alert, alert. You're late literally the next day. You're late the next day. Now, if you want to be technical, you know, we got different coasts out this piece, right? We got East Coast, West Coast, we got Mountain Time, Central Time, and then the Hawaiian time, all of that, right? You need to ask your bank what time, first of all, what coast do you guys go by? What standard time do you go by? Because I'm on the East Coast. Do you go by West Coast time? Do you go by Central time? You need to know that. Okay. Now, because if you're on the West Coast and your bank is talking about, well, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, yeah, you're late. If you pay after that, you're late and they're going to mark you as late. So get that together. That's very important. Now, for here, because this due date is on a Saturday, a weekend, I'm going to be honest with you. I would personally stretch this out for at least the 2 days. For all of this is late. You know what I mean? Because again, like I said, my bank really looks at Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as late. Okay. So again, this is what you're looking at. This is what you're looking at. This is what the color should look like. Okay. Now, we are going to get into how to pay them down. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. But these are the dates you need to be concerned of. Now, let me blow this up a little bit one more time. Let me blow myself up a little bit. Let me say something to you guys. As you notice, here. As you notice on the calendar, there are due dates, but you got to remember you guys have other bills that are due. You got the mortgage that is due. You have cell phone bills that are due, right? Got to be careful about what's overlapping and stuff. What I would recommend that you do, now that you have your visuals, if you want to add your other expenses on here in your other payments, your mortgage, your rent, tuition, whatever you need, and you need to fill this calendar up, Cool. What you can do inclusive of that is see if, let me go back, I'm flip flopping and y'all don't see it. You see how the due date is on the 10th and then it's on the 21st. One of the things that used to always piss me off is sometimes my bills were too close to the rent, the day, the time the rent was due or the mortgage. And sometimes it was in between paychecks and all that. What you can do is you can actually call the bank and say, I need to change my due date. So if you need to change your due date, they typically allow you to do it. Some banks will let you do it as many times as necessary, which is kind of rare. Some banks will tell you, yeah, you can change your due date starting at this time, but you can only do 3 a year. Call your banks. We need to get in the habit of not running away from these lenders. Communication is key. So what you can do is, one of the things I used to like to do, when especially when it came to credit cards, is I would like to pay my credit card. I would like to move the due date, let's say here or here. So let's say by the 7th, right? And then I would like my other card, I wanted to pay it at the end of the month. So something to that effect, not too far from a payday, because as time goes on, my checks would just be dwindling. You know what I'm saying? You guys know that. So you can change it. So now they're not so close together. And this is especially helpful for you guys that have like a whole lot of bills. Some people have most of your bills at the first half of the month, or some have it at the end of the month. So just spread it out accordingly. You can do it. It helps a lot. Trust me. But you just have to pay attention, you guys, to the late day, to the make a payment day, to the you guys got to pay attention to that is key. Now we're going to go back and talk about the math. So you need your calculadora once again. Okay. All right. So what I suggest, and let me adjust myself. Okay. Let me adjust myself up in here. This is what I suggest when it comes to paying down your credit cards. Now, again, if you have money and you can afford to just knock everything out, God bless you. Be consistent with it. Okay. I know a lot of people that, yes, they pay their credit cards down, completely down, and there's still something wrong with their credit and it messes them up and I got to fix it or whatever. Okay. So just be consistent with it. That's all I say. And if you can't be consistent and times are tough, even though you had the money, maybe something happened personally in your life, this is a judgment free zone. We don't judge. It's okay. At least worst case scenario, pay the minimum balance. All right. Pay the minimum balance just to get you by. Your score is going to go up because your utilization is high. But if you know you're going to pay it down next month, then you know your score is going to shoot back up. That's something you guys can control, is your utilization. Okay. So we're going to go back to the math. We're going to go back to the numbers, and we're going to go back to the basics. So staying in her account, we're going to look at this. Now, if you're still living paycheck to paycheck, you're still doing your thing, cool, I get it. What I would recommend that you guys do, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the right screen. What I would recommend you do is I would take a look at the balances that you have. So in this case, we're looking at her first premiere. She has 1,036. She's almost at 100. She might as well just say she's at the limit. Divide it up into payments that you can afford over time. Give yourself an idea in your head. How soon can I pay this off completely? Because if you're paying the minimum balance every single month, it's literally, you're going to feel like a hamster on a wheel and just running and running and not going anywhere. And I did that before. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. Like, I'm not missing any payments, but I'm still getting denied for things because I have to pay the interest and, my utilization is high. That's not helping you. So if you can, what I would do is say, okay, I owe $1,100. I would like to have this paid off within, I don't know, 3 months. All right, let me do 4 months. 4 months. I think that is decent enough, right? So you go back to the calculadora. Where is it again? Okay, so we're going to take $1,100, right? And we're going to divide it by, what did I say, 4 months? So that means you're going to pay $275 every. Oh, sorry, you guys. I keep forgetting to switch to tab. So $1,100 divided by 4 months. So now you're going to pay $275 for the next 4 months. So now you're going to, and that was for, which card was that? That was for the child children's place card. So you're going to go back to your calendar. So we're going to say for 4 months, we're going to have a 4-month plan. We're going to pay $275 for the children's place card. Now the other card is, what was that, for $200? If this is not a judgment, okay, we're not judging anybody. Maybe you can't just pay it all at once, whatever the case may be. So 200 divided by 4 months equals $50 a month. So you're going to pay over a course of 4 months. You're going to pay $50 per month for that FNC and FNCC card. Okay, so let's triple check something. So the FNCC, as long as you're paying more than the minimum balance, that's fine, right? So the FN, where the hell is that card? Child, did I just lose my spot? All right, I did. There we go. So they're saying the minimum balance is $53. Okay, so we can't. Oh no, what the hell? Hold on, yeah. Hold on. Oh no, so hers is $33. Sorry about that. $33 is her minimum balance. Where did I get $73 from? All right, thank you guys for pointing that out. Anyway, so yeah, their minimum balance is $33. Like that's trash. So you took no, I'm sorry, child. Hold on. I'm messing up. Okay, there we go. So we're at the. Oh, I flipped it. Okay, I see what I did there. So the children's place is the $200. Okay, so the children's place, if you divide that by 4 months, then she has to pay $50 a month. So her minimum balance is already $40 a month. So she is paying more than the minimum balance. But if she pays this $50 consistently over the next 4 months, then she'll pay the $200 down. And if you have an extremely low credit card limit like this, honestly, I would just try to pay it in half. $100 if you can afford it. I would pay $100 and $100 within the same month, or $100 and then the other 100, something of that effect. It's just too low to really be breaking down over time. It's not worth it, my opinion. But you have to, if that's what you're going to do, if you're switching things up, then you have to take what you're going to pay a month, go back to the calendar, and when you say due date or make a payment, then you want to leave a note for yourself. Okay, one of the things that I like to do, let me do it like this, squeeze that in here, and just say something, just leave a note. What can you say? $50 or make $50 payment to what was that? Children's place, whatever, you guys follow me. Say children's place or CP, right? If you want, you can stretch that out so it stretches over the time. You get it, right? So you see that, okay, I got to make a $50 payment before the bill is due, right? Because this is the due date right here. Purple due date. Make the 50. Oh shit. Sorry, you guys. All right. So there you go. So I put make a $50 payment to children's place, and I put it in the tag, in the sticker, the colored sticker, where it says make a. So this is me reminding myself, hey, I got to make this payment, okay, of $50 before the due date. Okay, before the due date. This is the due date. All right. After the due date, because remember we switched the due date around. I think we switched the due date around. Yeah, we switched the due date around. So then that would mean anything afterwards that is considered late. This is considered late. Okay, now that we switched the due date around. So now we're going to go back here. And so that was for Children's Place. Now the other one was what? FNCC. Minimum payment is $33. Credit limit is $1,000. So I don't know what number. So we're going to do the math again, child. We'll do the math. So we're going to say over the course of 4 months. So $1,000 divided by 4 months equals $250. We're going to pay $250 a month for the next 4 months to pay down that $1,000. So you're going to go here once again. And when is that due? So that is due on the 10th, because we switched the dates around. So whenever it's due, let's say, child, we didn't switch the dates. Whenever it's due, when it's under make a payment, if this is how you have it highlighted, just zoom in and say, here, make a payment. What did I say? Sorry, guys, I'm flip-flopping. $250, right? So we're going to make $250 payment to, who are we making it to? That bank. I think that's a bank. I don't know what. I got to look up, see what that was. FNCC. Okay. So now you know, or if this is the actual due date here, which I think it is, so be it, cut it out and put it here. Just the point is you guys should be able to follow this to the T. You're just putting down important dates, you're color coding them, okay? So it's legible for you. Now, if you don't want to do it this way, like I said, I'm just doing this for educational purposes. Sometimes it's better for some people just to write it down in like a regular tablet checklist. I know when I was working in corporate, I had that, and I loved it. I think I kind of want to do it again. Have that big old paper calendar that I would scribble notes on. I'm telling you, that saved my life. Because I'm just not an electronic type of girl. Like I like pen and paper. I'm old school. I sound like somebody's grandma. I'm saying it, but it worked. It worked just like the landline works over the cell phone. Who am I? So that's how you pay it down when you got it like that. Now, not when you got it like that, but when you can afford to manage your funds a little better, right? Where you don't have so little money where you have to pay the minimum balance down, and you don't have so much money where you just pay it off. This is how you have to pay it down. Now, if it's better for you to say, okay, because I know some people have much higher credit limits. For example, you might have a credit limit of $25,000. Be realistic. I know you're trying to get a house. If you're giving yourself a year to buy a house, then take that and divide it into 12 months or 10 months. Okay, take the 25,000, divide it into 12 months and see if you can make those payments consistently. But the key thing here is this. I'm pointing like this, but the key thing is this calendar right here. The calendar, you need to create it to your liking. If you don't want to do the calendar, that's totally fine. Write it out and have a planner. One thing, and I'm going to share this with you guys. Canva is your friend, child. Canva is your friend. They actually have, let me see if I can use this one. They have a financial planner, and I came across it by accident. Let me see. Planner. Yeah. So I came across it when I was trying to find the calendar. And what it does is it shows you the calendar and notes. I show the calendar and notes at the same time. But yeah, just check this out. Like if you need a financial planner thingy that works, but I saw one where it had the planner and the calendar at the same time. I thought that was ideal. I think personally that is the way to go. Let me see if I could type that in, financial planner with calendar. Or I thought it would pop up. Let me see, because I could have sworn I saw it. There it is. This is what I saw. Yeah, see how it works? Like this is a monthly calendar, and then you can put like little if that's what works for you, so be it. But the point is to pay down your credit. You have to figure. You have to give yourself X amount of time. So I'm going to do it in X amount of time. And you always want to pay more than the minimum balance. In a perfect world, if you could do it in, see, I like this one too. I like this one too, because if you need like a week by week situation, yeah. This is gold as well. Okay. Don't let the designs fool you. But this is just if you need a visual. This is a per setup. Yeah, you guys, if you need to, if idealistically, if you can also, another rule of thumb, if you can start off by paying the small debt off completely and then chipping away at the larger debt, that also helps your credit score. So let me small myself again and let's look at her credit report, her trade lines again. So here she has, I was trying to close it. I forgot how I closed it. So she has one for $200, $850, 1,100, a thou wow, 900, 800, and the rest are closed. We could talk about closed another day, but yeah, the closed more likely is going to be charged off and all that. So just focusing on her open accounts, if you can do it, since we're already talking about minimum payments of $50 a month or 173 a month, okay, cool. Why don't you pay, if you can swing it, pay off the smallest credit card. Just pay it off, or off meaning to 15% utilization. So if 15% utilization is 170, you paying $170, leaving a $30 balance, just do that. And then what I would do is back away, leave it alone, stop shopping at Children's Place for a minute. Okay, let it marinate that you went from 100% utilization all the way down to 15% or less, which kind of equates to 0% anyway. So her score, even though this limit is very low, her credit score, which is only low because I fixed most of her credit, right? Her score is only low because of her utilization. That one small credit card is going to at least get her damn near to 600. And I'm saying it like that because she still has others that are beyond 30%. So then I would take the larger cards and then I would try to divide. Now 1,100, that's not crazy work. You know, if you got multiple streams of income, if you can afford to do it, instead of breaking this down in 4 months, try to break it down in 2 months, or try to make the payments in 3 months in thirds. Okay, put it on your calendar, find your calendar. So the reason why it's really important, you guys, to follow this methodology of doing it, or this method of doing it, is of paying down your credit cards, is because sometimes you guys feel, hey, I'm in a rut, I can't really do it for myself, let me hire or go to a debt consolidation company. A debt consolidation company is going to do the same exact thing I just showed you. And on top of it, it's going to charge you additional fees. So this takes all of that out. You know what, you guys? I think I'm going to start wearing synthetic wigs again. I don't know what made me get synthetic in the first place, but you know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm going back to the real hair. Anyway, that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. But yeah, so just be careful. You do not have to go with a debt consolidation company. Debt consolidation companies make it worse. They combine all the debt, they take your payment and they pay on stuff that doesn't need to be paid for. As you can see, I only showed you the open debt. I was not talking about the closed debt. The closed debt is already charged off or it's already in collections. So that's where the credit repair expert that you hired, hopefully it was fixmycreditnow@50.com, the ones that you hired, we're already working on that. So don't worry about that. You worry about your open credit card debt and getting those payments down, 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 down. The sooner you pay them down to 15% utilization, the better. But again, if you guys are working with credit cards that's maxed out 80,000 wow, 50,000 wow, 100,000 wow collectively, yes, be realistic. Know how much you are getting paid, how much money you got. Take care of the small ones, okay? And then work on the big ones. Okay, work on them big ones, stretch it out over 12 months, be realistic, and stop paying that minimum balance, okay? Hopefully this was helpful, you guys. Sorry I kept flip-flopping, and I wasn't bringing you guys along with me. I apologize about that. But yeah, hopefully you got the message. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful, if we need to go ahead and do it again. I'm with it. I will support that. I don't mind doing it again. If you guys have any questions or you want me to focus on something different like trade lines and buying trade lines and how that helps your credit card utilization, because it does, let me know. We can get into it. It's not going to be long. It's actually very short. It's a short explanation. But yeah, whatever you need, just let me know. Okay, leave it in the comments. But again, I appreciate you guys. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to follow. If you want your free consultation with me so I can fix your credit, link is in the description. But be sure you guys join Next Level Credit Academy. It's on my school community. It's really good, very informative. There's free courses there since you like free so much. There's free courses so you totally understand credit. It doesn't make sense for you to say, oh, I'm gonna fix my own credit. I got it. I ain't trying to pay nobody, and you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. So at least join Next Level Credit Academy, get the facts, become a factual disputer, do things correctly. And then if you want to take it to the next level and sue like I do, like my students do, then join that course that's in Next Level Credit Academy. But I'm gonna let y'all go. I wish you guys the best of luck on your credit journey. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.